EDL 851, Module 1, Zane Warnkin. So I'm here to introduce myself. As you say, as I said, I'm Zane Warnkin. I live in Corvallis, Montana. Beautiful Corvallis, Montana. You can see my family down there. That's in our yard. Beautiful back there. I have 2 master courses left. She won, but I took so long I had to do an extra one. So good on me, huh? It's been not great, but I'm almost getting there. I've been married for 24 years to my lovely wife. My daughter Emmy has 1 semester left of pre-PT, then she goes to grad school. My son Caleb just graduated in this crazy COVID time. He is not going to Grand Canyon the first semester. He's in Hawaii right now, doing some volunteer work at a YWAM. So we're very excited for him. He's got 2 weeks in quarantine in Hawaii till he works, so not bad. I've been teaching for 21 years. Taught different things, done different things in different places. But I think the most exciting thing for me is where I've taught. I've taught in Taiwan. I've taught in Korea. Taught, of course, here in Montana, and I taught in California for 2 years, which wasn't great. But just to be able to have the opportunity to go overseas and teach in different environments has been fantastic for my career. And very excited that I have done that. I highly recommend it if anybody's interested in doing that. Contact me. I'll tell you how we did it. So when we look at these articles, I'll just start with each article. Teacher supervision and evaluation. Sometimes it's a rubber stamp for tenured teachers, and I've seen that. There should be a stated purpose to target professional development to improve teaching. A lot of times you get your evaluation, you're like, what are we doing? What's the point? We now know that 50% do not receive continuous professional development, mentoring, or coaching as a result of their evaluations, which they should if they need it. Second article, 10 steps towards staff well-being. There needs to be a plan for well-being. It needs to be accessible and known to staff. In this article, they say it should be flexible. Who's the leader? It should be known. Is there a physical space and opportunities for teachers that need support? Is the well-being talked about and supported by the school in meetings? And then they talked in the next article, we talked about face-to-face and online to improve confidence for managers in the case of well-being, for mental health for our teachers. Basically, it doesn't matter how it's delivered as long as it is delivered. Administrators will gain confidence to help their teams. The fourth article, recruitment, retention, development of quality teachers in hard-to-staff schools. I've been in one. I lasted 2 years. This was a California school. Wow. 50% of the teachers move on like I did. There's 3 critical areas: recruitment, retention, and development. You need to have a proactive approach in hiring, university partnerships, early signing, job shadowing, pre-service prep, get them prepared. The first days, invest in the full-time teacher with a mentor. They suggest not having just a teacher because, as you know, being a teacher and a mentor is very difficult, but most schools will not do that. Proper PD, weekly review, check in on those teachers, see how they're doing. If they have to take a test like I did in California, it's good to have help with that instead of having to do it on their own, plus all the other things they're doing. Beyond the first day, how do you keep them? Give rewards, financial rewards up to 5 years. Excuse me. Get teachers involved because they need to be involved in the school, not just teaching, they need to be part of the community. And then opportunities for growth. In the final article is focus on teacher well-being to improve retention in schools. I think it's like anything. You need to create an enjoyable work environment and communicate with your staff. Ask them, give them ownership in the school. Be transparent and lead by example. Operate as a team. It doesn't make sense. I've worked in both where you just don't feel like you're part of a team, and if you're not going to have well-being. It's going to be a struggle. And then help encourage a practice of mindfulness. Ask your teachers. Let them feel important. Let them know you really do care how they're doing. For me, I just know that I have some flaws and some gaps with this type of understanding, training, and development and mental health. Is a lot of holes in what I have. As a teacher, and if you're evaluating, you need to give feedback that is effective and training that helps in those areas. Not just make it a stick or a carrot, but help them. Another area I need to grow is understanding how to retain my teachers. And I think that environment you create, it could be through incentives like they stated in the Torres article, or most of all, I just need to support all my teachers in their well-being. I try to lead that way when I coach, by an example, transparent atmosphere, acceptance. These are all things. And how do I gain that confidence to reach them? Training. And as we see, it can be online, in face-to-face, but any type of training. Like right now, everything's going to be online. So that's where we're going, unless something drastically happens. And it'll be important to listen and ask my staff. I'm not good at that. You can ask my wife; she can tell you. All right, correlations definitely correlate to this. These resources opened my mind to improve of creating a positive culture that includes teachers and students. The better support and listen to teachers, the more likely they're to stay and to work harder, care about their students. As administrators, our job to invest in improving our teachers and giving them opportunities to be heard and help with their job and emotions. If I lead by example, I can build a positive and productive culture. Is this relevant? Well, for 21 years taught, and I feel like the longer you're in the school, the less training you get, which makes sense, but we still need support and good professional development, not just professional development to check the box. I've been a first-time teacher 8 different times because of all the traveling, and I think I've seen the difference in how we can retain teachers and make them feel better, and I've seen some good things and some very bad things. Sometimes you're just thrown to the wolves. Sometimes you're helped a lot. So I think it's important that we do that. Reflection. The importance of mental health in teachers is so important. I never really thought of it from an administrative side. Principals need to reach out to all their teachers and do everything possible to support them. If a teacher is willing to be part of a team, that's the key. Are they willing? And you show them, they will succeed. Put my teachers first and allow them a chance to be successful. The less teachers I need to hire, the better for the school and the students, which means continuity is important. They understand the culture. They understand what you're asking. They understand the kids. And it's just so important. Here's my references for the 5 articles. Looking forward to this class and hopefully hearing from some of my peers and from our professors. So thank you. Hope this is what you wanted.